My brother-in-law thought I'd choose him. I chose fire instead. Posted by Unfaithful and Unforgiven. Let me start this off by admitting something most people won't say out loud. I was the villain. But even villains bleed. I was my husband's college sweetheart, the love of his life, or so I thought. We built a home together. Not a house. A home. He was steady, kind, intelligent in a quiet way that made you feel safe. His name is Matthew. Or was. I don't even know what to call him now. And his brother? His name is Aiden. He's the type of man who lights a room on fire just by stepping in. Golden boy. Charmer. Everyone loved him, even the people he ruined. Especially the people he ruined. Me included. Let me rewind. I met Matthew in university, after crawling out of a pit of an emotionally abusive home. I won't go into my trauma here, that's a different post, but let's just say love for me felt like something earned. Not given. Matthew, he was the first person who didn't make me fight for air. He handed it to me like a gift. We were that couple everyone thought was too sweet to last. But we did. For almost 10 years. Married for 5. I know. It makes no sense. Why ruin something that good? Aiden was always around. More than I liked. Always popping in, always giving that knowing smirk when I opened the door. He was Matthew's shadow, and Matthew was oblivious. Aiden was the favorite. Their parents handed him everything growing up. Cars, bail money, rent when he blew his income on coke and cheap women. Meanwhile, Matthew worked himself into an early ulcer just to keep us afloat in those early years. I hated Aiden. I hated the way he'd put his arm around Matthew's shoulder like he owned him. I hated the way he'd lean into me at family dinners, whispering things only I could hear. If you ever get tired of the Boy Scout, tell me, do you ever imagine what it'd be like with someone who actually knows what to do in bed? Sick, right? But here's the thing about rot. It doesn't start all at once. It's slow. Creeping. Aiden was a poison that tasted like honey. And I was so stupid. The affair lasted 3 months. It wasn't planned. The first time it happened I was drunk. The second time I wasn't. Aiden knew all the right buttons. He'd tell me what Matthew wouldn't. That I was beautiful. That I was more than some trophy wife, more than a walking wound Matthew kept trying to fix. He made me feel wanted, until he didn't. Because you see, Aiden never wanted me. He wanted what Matthew had. He wanted to be Matthew. And sleeping with me? That was the ultimate high for him. The night Matthew found out was biblical. He'd come home early from a work trip. I was asleep. Aiden was shirtless in the kitchen, casually making eggs like he owned the place. I'll never forget the sound of the skillet hitting the tile when Matthew tackled him. I'll never forget Matthew screaming like a wild animal. Or the moment he looked at me and his voice cracked. Why him, Karen? Of all people, why him? And I had no answer. I begged. I cried. I collapsed on the floor like some Shakespearean tragedy cliché. But Matthew? He left. Packed a duffel and walked out with just his laptop, toothbrush and the cat. Yes, he took the damn cat. Good for him. It's been 8 months. Here's where it gets insane. His parents, who always fawned over Aiden like he was the second coming, cut him off. I mean completely. No more trust fund payments. No more forgiveness brunches. They wrote him out of the will. Their $2 million inheritance? All going to Matthew now. Apparently, Aiden went crying to their mom saying I seduced him, that I was manipulating him, that Matthew wasn't even in love with me anymore. Classic Aiden. But their parents, especially their mother, oh God, she snapped, told him he was a parasite and not fit to carry the family name. Drama queens, the whole lot of them. Now Matthew lives alone. Big house. No contact. His LinkedIn says he got promoted twice since the split. Good for him. And Aiden? Unemployed. Broke. Living in some sleazy studio with a mattress on the floor and a PS4 he probably pawned someone's kidney for. Me. I live in silence. I tried to reach Matthew. Letters. Emails. I stood outside his office once, holding a bouquet like a rom-com psychopath. He walked right past me. Didn't flinch. Aiden came crawling back last month. Knocked on my door at 2 a.m. drunk and sobbing. We were meant to be, Karen. You know that. He never deserved you. I gave you passion fire. You can't go back to that robot. I laughed. Right in his face. You think this is a love story? You ruined your brother. I ruined my husband. We're not soulmates, Aiden. We're co-conspirators in a murder-suicide pact we didn't even realize we were signing. He didn't like that. He tried to kiss me. I slapped him. Hard. He hasn't shown up since. Here's the thing, Reddit. I'm not asking for forgiveness. Not from you, not from Matthew, and sure as hell not from Aiden. I burned down a house I helped build. And it felt good, until I saw the ashes. And now, I sit in them. Every damn day. So no. Aiden doesn't get to be forgiven. He doesn't get to paint this as some twisted love story. And Matthew? He might never speak to me again. But he won. He escaped. And I live with the ghost of what we were. A haunting of my own making. But at least I stopped lying to myself. That's something, right? Update. I just found out Matthew is seeing someone. A nurse. Younger. Smiles like she's never been hurt. He deserves that. All of it. I just hope one day he laughs again. Loudly. Without regret. Let him keep the cat. I was never the warm one anyway.